Good evening, everyone. This should be coming out to you this evening, and it's like London buses. You've waited long, and you've waited so long for Tottenham on Tour content. You're going to get two episodes in one day. I am joined with my brother, my Ahi from Israel. Amir, how are you, brother?
I'm doing really well, Dagul. How are things on your sides over there in London?
Things are all good. It's just another day in paradise for Tottenham Hotspur fans, and there's quite a bit to talk about. So, you ready to do this, my brother?
Yeah, let's get into it, Dagul.
Let's do it.
Tottenham on tour.
All right, the first thing we're going to talk about, my man, and Joe, what I was on Perchy's show this morning, or this afternoon, whatever time we look at it, and the news had just broken about something very big in Israel. And as I was hearing it, I was like, you know what? If only we had a guy on Tottenham on tour that lives in Israel and knows the Israeli league. And I was like, oh, we do, my brother. So obviously, big news broke today
Indeed.
for Israel with Robbie Keane becoming the new manager of Maccabi Tel Aviv.
hmm
How has the news gone down in Israel, and how was it announced?
Well, I think it's sent shockwaves really around the league because it's such a big name to come in. Although Robbie doesn't have much experience, just the name in itself, being someone who played obviously at Spurs for years, scored, endless amounts of goals, played for Inter, played for Leeds. He's a very well-known name over here. So for him to come in, for people that don't know, Maccabi Tel Aviv are one of the three best teams, you would say, in Israel. They came third last year. You've got Maccabi Haifa and then probably Hapoel Beersheva, who they also compete with. They haven't won a league title in over, I think it's 4 or 5 years. So, Robbie's got a huge task ahead of him to get them playing good football and get them winning things again. I think it's a huge sink or swim for Robbie in terms of, this is a real chance to learn his trade, do a couple of years out here, hopefully bring them some titles if that's a cup or winning them a league. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he gets on over here. The football, the level of football, if you're comparing it to back home and to other European leagues, it's not that high. Although the top five teams are pretty decent and occasionally do cause upsets in Europe. Maccabi Tel Aviv historically in Europe have been fantastic. They've beaten teams the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Nice, Ajax, Olympiacos, Panathinaikos. So there will be expectation there for Robbie to get out of his group, at least in the Conference League, and yeah, like I said, to win a trophy, if that's a League Cup or the State Cup here in Israel. And if he finishes in the top three, I think that would be sufficient. If he wins the league, then they'll be delighted with him, and he'll become an absolute legend for Maccabi Tel Aviv. So really interesting appointment. Really
It,
interesting.
it is, and I mean, we've got to add to this. I mean, congratulations to Robbie, and like we said, Mazel Tov on his arrival
Big
for
fan.
a first time in the hot seat to come out to the Middle East, to come somewhere where the culture, the language,
Mhm.
everything is going to be like a rude awakening to him. Obviously, where you spent a bit of time in Italy, where you would have undergone Italian lessons. I know from living out there, learning Hebrew is not one of the easiest languages to learn.
Mm.
It's a huge step for him to make his first move, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a brave step, though.
Yes, very much so.
It really is a brave step by Robbie, and I applaud him and wish him all the best out here. If there's anything that can be done, in terms of improving the squad, I'm sure he's going to try and do it. He's got an eye for talent. He was always a big motivator in the dressing room, so I'm hopefully, he can implement that kind of spirit into the team, which they've been lacking recently. They've been underperforming for the last few seasons. Maccabi Haifa have been winning, won three in a row. So it's a big task ahead of him, and it's really a chance to learn his trade. And I'm hoping for him. I don't really have a team out here that I support. So now that Robbie's out here, I'll probably go ahead and support Maccabi Tel Aviv for the next season. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of specials, but also you got to think when he goes there, will he make a call to N17 and see if he can get a few of our players out on loan? whether it be players we don't want or even youth products.
Do you know what, Dagul? That would actually be a fantastic shout. I mean, there's a few in there, right? You know, someone like Dorrington could come out here and get some first team experience, slot in there in the centre back role. Yeah, I mean, I think if Robbie implemented some of his connections, then you know only he's going to benefit from that, and Maccabi Tel Aviv potentially. So win-win.
Exactly. Well, like we said, it's Mazel tov to Robbie. His family will be very well treated in Tel Aviv. He'll love Israel. The weather is going to be schwitzing, as we say. It is going to be, and like we said, what a bold move. But like we said, we see a lot of youngsters now going to Germany and trying it. Fair play to Robbie. Fair play for going out, and this is a place where you're really going to earn your stripes. This is a league where you're going to grow so much as a human. You're going to take a new culture in. It's going to, I think it's win-win for him, isn't it? Everywhere he goes. But yeah, spoken about Robbie now. Before we came on, this news has been heating up. And it's been heating up, and it's been heating up, and it's been heating up. And it looks like Bayern aren't messing around, and there will be some kind of, I mean, again, this could be media speculation, but it looks like their Kane interest is genuine. Their Kane interest, they may be testing this, and I'll get you, because I know you said you've got quite a bit to say on this. But where I'm standing on this is, I think it's come to the time now where either Harry or the club have to come out and say, listen, he's not up for sale for any price. He's not leaving. Mainly the club, not Harry. But we've got to nip this in the bud or deal with it now, haven't we? What's your thoughts on this, Amir?
Oh, I completely agree with you on that one, Daigle. And for me, you know, if we want to even speak about challenging for anything next season, then obviously you want to keep your best players. Harry Kane's one of the best in the world. You know, for me, no amount of money that Bayern could come in, you know, 120, 130 million, you're not going to find a replacement that's going to get you 30 odd goals a season and do what Kane does for us. So for me, you know, I would have a very frank chat with him, and I'd say, look, Harry, you know, we want you to stay for another couple of seasons, and then you know you can decide what to do after. And personally, I think, look, for me, he's 2 seasons away from breaking the record and from, you know, overtaking Shearer there. So there's no reason why he can't stick around for another couple of years, break the record, and then potentially, if we don't win anything in the next couple of years, he can go off and go to whatever team and go off and win trophies. And I don't think anyone will begrudge him for that, you know, because of the service that he's given us.
Well, you got to remember this. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So 2 years, it means he would sign one. And I don't know if we'd give him just a 1 year extension. But do you know what is happening with this? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's giving me Berbatov vibes, where this is going to drag on and drag on and drag on. And then we're left late with no replacement. Apart from Richarlison, which would be obviously straight into there. But I started by the end of the season, I was like, he's gone. He's gone. He's going Madrid. He's going. Goodbye. Thank you, Kane. Recently, I've started coming over to do you know what? I think he's staying. And just as I've got into that kind of side of the fence of I think he's staying, boom, Bayern Munich. And this is heating up. It started, like all things do on social media, but it's gathering pace. And this situation needs to be resolved ASAP, doesn't it, Amir, in all honesty, one way or the other?
100%. And look, you know, you're talking about a contract. I don't see why we shouldn't be offering him another 2-3 year contract, whatever he wants, basically.
Yeah.
I would say to Harry, look, you know, what do you want to stay here for the next couple of years and give it a shot at nicking a trophy, you know, before you do head off to wherever you want to go and break that record. And give him, if it's 350, 400, I don't care about the money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want to see Harry stay with us, try and win a trophy, hopefully get there, break that record. And then if he goes off to Bayern, Real, Barca, I don't care. And I'd wish him all the success in the world over there, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see, because this one does keep dragging and dragging. And again, this is where we are. So please, Harry, stay. Just please stay. We're going to have to wait and see. But things are starting to heat up and ramp up now. Next one, Paratici's influence. So people were starting to talk about, obviously, the goalkeeper. Could Paratici have had anything to do with this? Apparently, we were looking at him in January. Guess who was still there? Paratici. Do we think a list was left of potential targets they were working on, ready for this summer? Who knows? We all knew he was banned. Then there's talk, is he talking behind the scenes still from Italy? Alistair Gold has broken that understands Fabrizio Fabio Paratici is still helping to guide Tottenham Hotspur on a consultancy basis, having officially resigned from the Premier League club in April. FIFA's lifting a part of the 50-year-old Italian's 30-month ban, initially given by the Italian Football Federation and then extended globally, are understood to allow Spurs' former managing director of football to partake in a consultancy capacity for clubs. Amir, take it away.
I mean, this just seems like lunacy to me. I mean, you've got rid of a guy who's been done over in Italy, and you're still consulting him for what exactly? It's beggars belief, really, that these kind of stories are coming out, and I think it just shows what a mess we are in behind the scenes and at the board level. So for me, it's just another one of those things, that's not to do with the football inside. That is just shows where we're at, really. Why he's got influence at this stage, I have no idea.
You got to look at it this way, Amir. First of all, we're looking at it now, and this will kind of wrap into we'll talk about this for a bit. Then we're going to go into the last question, the last subject that we're going to discuss. It's like now we've got so many things in our head. In fact, we're bringing this up as well. We might as well. And I've called this so many questions, hardly any answers, because now we're looking at it. It's like, does Ange want to work with the director of football? We're hearing yes. We're hearing no. Is the director of football coming in? Is it yes? Is it no? Is Paratici still consulting? Daniel Levy still speaking to? There are so many questions that are being raised right now, and we know the answers to hardly any of them. Contracts are being ripped up. Here we are. We're going into pre-season. We signed one player. All right, the goalkeeper's on the verge of doing it. But that one player we signed is already a member of the squad from last season, and we knew he was going to stay. We've got the manager in. What else have we done in what we were told we were going to do? Listen, I know the transfer window's only been open a week just under. But other clubs are moving and shaking and doing their bits. And we're still here. We're getting ready to prepare to make that bid. We're linked with, we're going to be doing in the coming days. Amir, I mean, how are you feeling? There are so many questions, isn't there?
And I think the answer to that is there are hardly any answers. At the end of the day, we're looking to get rid of 7, 8, maybe more players, and we're looking to bring in 5, maybe 6 new additions to the squad. And if you're looking at it, it's 20 days before the first match of preseason, something like that. That's not a lot of days to do a lot of business with that amount of business. So either we're going to be disappointed, or Ange is working miracles behind the scenes and we don't know, and that things are going on and there's moving parts, and I just think we're not in the loop when it comes down to it. I really do hope we start to see some movement over the next week, because if not, I mean, where are we going to be come the start of the league? Still building our squad, still bringing in players, still getting rid of players. I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, I mean, again, you look at it, James Maddison. If you look at it, Manchester City are about to lose, or they have lost Gundogan.
Yep.
They may be losing Bernardo Silva to the Saudi Arabian League, although I'm not too sure if that's progressed or whatever. They're going to need a creative player. Who's available? James Maddison. Can they afford James Maddison and Declan Rice? Oh, for sure they can.
Easily.
Even the Dutch, I can't remember the name of the defender. Van der Ven.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool were meant to be linked with him. We've got to move quick. We've got to move quick. As soon as I heard Liverpool involved with Van der Ven, it's got Luis Diaz written all over it for me.
Yeah.
There's just so many questions. With Paratici, you're looking at this and it's like, okay, I'm trying to analyse this. Has he brought in good players? Papa Matasar, I reckon, is going to be a baller. Kulusevski, Romero, Bentancur, without a doubt. Brian Hill, I still think there might be a player there. We'll wait and see. But then you look at others which haven't worked out. Obviously, I'm not going to go through names. I don't know what we're doing right now. I don't know what we're doing. If we are going to Paratici, if Ange doesn't want a director of football and we're buying players Ange wants, how the hell does Paratici know what Ange wants?
I don't know. That's the thing. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. I mean, the only logical thing that that could be possible is that Ange is giving authority for these signings to go through, and it's a kind of mutual decision. Because what is the point, like, in bringing in players if this keeper's not someone that Ange wanted at the club? What's the point in bringing him in? He has to, like, for me, the fact that we've signed him means that Ange wants him in the squad. That's logical thinking. But then again, at Spurs, not always logic dictates our moves. So,
well, you got to look at it this way, Amir, as well. Amir, sorry to cut you off, but you got to look at it this way. It could be, and I'll give the club respect to this. We look like we're so quickly going for Raya, and then obviously Raya didn't happen, and then the goalkeeper bang. So, for all we know, everything we're hearing and everything we're talking about right now could be smokescreens. And if it is, then it's like, okay, but we're so used to a different way that it's just concerning, isn't it?
It is concerning. It is concerning. It's at this stage though that I personally, since we got Big Ange in, I'm putting my faith in this guy. The kind of things that you've heard from other clubs, from Celtic fans, from Aussies, this guy's a real man motivator. He knows how he wants to play his football. We're going to see attacking football finally back down in Tottenham. So, I've got to put faith in him that as well, the things behind the scenes, the players we're going to get rid of, it's all going to be his decisions. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Could be wishful thinking from me there. But I'm just going to get behind him as much as we can. And hopefully we'll start to see those moving parts, over the next week or so, 10 days. Hopefully we do start to see some players, going out, deals being done. And for me, hopefully some defenders coming in, and obviously a quality creative midfielder would be really nice as well.
What's more important for you, mate? Getting a creative midfielder in or getting a defender?
I'd take two defenders over a creative mid right now if I had to choose. Because I think, if you're looking at the midfielders that we have there to pick from, right? Pape Matar, Bissouma, Bentancur coming back, Skippy's there. You've got Gil who could potentially be brought in, Kulu. There's a lot there. When you're looking at the defence, there's hardly anything there.
Yep.
Apart from Romero. The rest of them.
You've also got to remember, Amir, looking at this with so many questions, hardly any answers. Who's leaving? Here we are going into this. We've got no clue.
Well, it's all conjecture at this point, Dagul. I can sit here and say that Dyer, Sanchez is gone, Tanganga's gone, Cess is gone, but we just don't know. We haven't heard anything. So it's really hard to say who will actually end up going. Ndombele is another one, huge signing that we made for huge money.
Yep.
Who knows? Most Spurs players, the fans don't want him back, and I understand exactly why, but who knows? Does Ange want to have a look at him? Does he want him gone? Does he want him loaned? We just don't have a clue.
Again, there's just no communication, is there? There was absolutely no communication. Now, I'm not saying every other team does communicate, but as I said when he came in, Andrew's got to come in and got the most amount of work to do in the least amount of time to do it. And what have we done? Another question. What have we done?
I mean, apart from bringing in a keeper, that is something that we needed to cover. Apart from that,
which hopefully will be announced today or tomorrow. There's different rumours going about. Again, more questions, hardly any answers. Sources were saying he arrived in London yesterday at 5 p.m. Then there's pictures of the Spurs welcoming committee today at Stansted Airport at 2 p.m. waiting for someone to fly into Stansted. Was it the goalkeeper? Is it someone else? Is he in the country? Is he not? Obviously, here we go. He's got to have his medical. I expect that to go through tonight or tomorrow, Wednesday at the very latest. But they're due back. Saturday's the 1st of July. It's the 1st of July, and we need to start moving because, like we said, Kane has now the interest has stepped up. Kyriacou looks like it's got more influence than we thought. And here we go, going ready into a pre-season where you thought Ange would want his players to build. And before other fans or Spurs fans keep saying this, I don't give a monkey's what other teams are doing. Other teams have their team or the nucleus of the team they want. They need to chop a few off and bring a couple in to replace. We've got a brand new manager again, who there needs to be a mass exodus at Spurs. That hasn't happened, and Ange needs to get his players on board. We saw with Poch how vital it is to try and get the players in early to get a pre-season.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree more, Dagul. I couldn't agree more. It's so vital that we get a good pre-season in, and Ange gets to, it takes time to build a team. He needs to assemble who he wants. He needs to have a look at this player, have a look at that player, figure out who's right for what role. Can this player be moved in a position to maybe, he like Porro, move him up to the wing, possibly. I don't know. But Ange needs to have a look and decide what he wants to do with all that. And if those pieces of the chessboard haven't moved, then how's he going to do that? I'm just hoping that there is a plan behind it. Again, could be wishful thinking. I'm just really hoping that we do see movement as soon as possible. And show some authority in these windows. If Maddison's your man, go and get him. If Eze's your man, go and get him. If Tapsoba's your man, go and get. Like all this faffing around over $1 million here, $1 million there, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Get the player in, get him over the line, get his medical, get him in the dressing room, and then let Ange assess him and see what he wants to do with him. Another thing that I think we have to ask ourselves as well is our youth players. What are we going to do with them? What's going to happen with Scarlett, Parrott, Dorrington, Mundle,
Mundle's gone.
Mundle's gone. But Divine, are these players going to be loaned out again? Are they going to try and break through into the team? That also needs to be something that is assessed.
Yep. I mean, what a perfect way to end it with another question. Amir, listen, brother. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Also, big up to you running the community section and doing it in a fucking phenomenal way. Great job by yourself, brother. Keep up the great work. And we'll be doing a lot more throughout the build up to the season. We are going to be back regular, but Amir, as always, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
No worries, my pleasure.
Everyone, please make sure you like, subscribe, share the content, as well as comment. We will get back to your comments. It's always a pleasure spending time with you. It's great to be back with you on a regular basis. So like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.
Tottenham Tour.
Bye.